I now like to move to Cristina. And Cristina, thank you for being here and for your leadership. As an advisor, a special advisor to the UN on Africa, I cannot help but ask you, in my reporting over the years on the continent, have seen much leadership coming in gender equality. From your perspective as a UN special advisor, how has Africa led? How can we further mobilize resources to increase gender equality on the continent and also to unlock the economic power of women and girls?
Thank you. Good morning to everybody. It's an honor to be here. My dear sister Sima, thank you for inviting me. I'm always available. Please count on me. I'm always available. I would like to make a call to this room. I'm going to present 3 ideas, but I need for you to work together with me in these 3 ideas. There is a magic word that we need to tackle when responding to your question, Richard. Access to means of production. I believe this has been the missing piece in the equation. So the magic word is access to means of production, and I would like to take this opportunity to bring the macroeconomic policies dimension to this conversation, because I think this is the missing piece and maybe the reason why the DSG and our ambassador, beautiful ambassador, saying enough is enough. First idea, let's work together. We all know that, and lots of studies, we all know that there is a clear association between gender gaps and lack of economic progress. Everybody knows that in this room. And the reason behind this is because macroeconomic policies, in a silent way, they have been producing gender gaps. If we do nothing, you just respect the status quo, gender gaps is just automatic. It's just automatic. So, but let's reason together. If we know that gender gaps feed, let's say, lack or causes lack of economic progress, because gender gaps, at the end of the day, is a huge machine to produce opportunity costs, as you mentioned very well. If macro policies have been perpetuating gender gaps, and these have undermined economic progress, we need altogether to realize that macroeconomic policies have internal contradictions in the sense that they have been producing instability and instability. So, if this is true, gender gaps cannot be only a social affair, with all my due respect. Gender gaps cannot only be a human affair. It touched the state, it touched the nation. This is the first idea. Second idea, the agency and power of women is a macroeconomic stability tool. I know he has a strong human rights. I'm not saying that. I respect that. But is, above all, a strong macroeconomic stability tool. It impacts the management of fiscal space and consequently, again, is a state affair. How come? And I would like to bring this macroeconomic stability tool of the agency of power of women an important relationship, sometimes a problematic one. But we are allowing this setup to have an open conversation, I hope so. So is the relationship between fertility rates and fiscal space. Maybe everybody thinks that there are no relationship at all between fertility rates and fiscal space. But fertility rates need to enter into a balanced relationship with the country's capacity to respond to the provision of social services and public goods. And what we have been assisting in the case of Africa is a complete mismatch. The fertility rate today in Africa is 4.6, and the average is 2.1. I'm not saying that Africa has not the potential, economic potential to do so. But as of today, the mismatch is huge, and of course, we do have a problem. This brings another, allow me to be a little bit technical, another important dimension, because if we don't address these questions, we don't address the root causes, and in 10 years we will be saying, enough is enough, is the demand and supply side of the equation. The fertility rates basically drives the demand side, and countries' potential and the public policies that to apply to countries' potential drives the supply side. If this is true, we need all to agree. This is the reason I ask that to work together in this conversation. We all need to agree that gender gaps, they need first to land in ministers of finance desks, before they land in ministers of family desks, before they land in ministers of economic desks. Because if they don't land first in ministers of finance desk, we'll be in a trap. And I will tell you the trap. The trap is, and then I move to this. Now, the trap is, I don't know if you notice, when you start talking about economic empowerment of women, there is always someone in the room that pulls out the card of microcredit. We are delivering microcredit, so we are empowering women. Wrong. Wrong. If you analyze the microcredit experience, at the end of the day, they have been unable to break the poverty reduction nature of the business model. Sometimes I have the impression that microcredit is just to put good guys in the picture. We are empowering women from an economic standpoint, but at the end of the day, you are not breaking the reproduction poverty nature of the model. And this means, to my third idea, I'm about to finish. So my third idea, woman as the landlord, not the tenant. Women should be the landlord, not the tenant, and they touch with access of means of production. Let's put land in Africa. Women is essentially the majority in the agriculture sector workforce, has no access to the most obvious, basic asset of that sector. So has no access to means of production. And this is the mismatch. My last sentence. If you want to really address gender gaps, unlock economic progress in Africa, to move from a number or a motto to actual inclusion, we need to focus our efforts on the property, ownership of economic resources and assets by women. Give women the same capacity and rights to acquire and own. And I have no doubt that women will rise to the top without needing anyone to reserve one testimonial spot for them. Thank you.
Cristina, thank you so much for your message and for your energy.